having a very good day on this Wednesday hump day. We are in the month of mental health awareness. Organizations, one of the main ways I see organizations trying to implement some sort of mental health is through flexibility. We're going to talk about why flexibility alone is not enough to help your employees mentally. Stay tuned. So, hello again, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Srishta Tiwari. I am an emotional intelligence coach and healer. And what that means is I help women achieve their goals and their dreams. I build that bridge, clearing away all emotional blocks and the negative energy living inside them, and really opening their world to possibilities that they dreamed of but didn't think they could have. So, in this month of mental health awareness, which of course is something I'm extremely passionate about because mental health and emotional health are very much related and intertwined. So, even though when I speak about a lot of the things, they may come from an emotional place, everything is linked. So, the way in which I have seen organizations try to deal with or say that they are implementing mental health in their workplace, one of the ways is by flexibility. Flexibility to working hours, maybe flexible lunch times, depending on the job you have. And some organizations have retained, and I commend you for that, the work from home. All of these things do help in an employee's mental health because you are giving the employee autonomy or agency in respect of how they manage their workday. And of course, we understand that not every role will be able to have this flexibility, but for the roles that have. And that is great. But one thing I find that organizations don't understand or people in leadership positions don't understand is that mental health is not just about the flexibility. For me, creating a mentally healthy work environment is really creating that space of psychological safety. What do I mean by that? So, I'm going to talk about three things in order for you to assess how healthy the workplace you are creating for your employees, how healthy it is. So the first thing, how do your employees feel about coming to work? Are they excited to come to work? Do they look forward? Do they feel anxious? Do they feel overwhelmed? Do they feel angry? Do they wish that this was not their life? All of these things speak to the state of the environment. And I know adopt this framework that nobody likes to work. That is not true. I love to work. There are persons, if you are hiring the right people, then the people who are coming to work from you want to do that job. They enjoy doing it and they don't see it as something they have to do in order to survive life. So there's a lot of reframing and think the labor and the workforce. If your employee, for example, is sitting in their car until 8 o'clock and walking into the office only at the time they need to be there, and when it's lunchtime, they vacate the office and come back at the end of the lunch hour and stay until the prescribed time and then leave. That is a sign that that employee really does not want to be there. And I use this example because it is a very real example of persons I have known who have been in the workplace and absolutely hated the environment they were working in. But of course, they needed a job and they have to provide for their family. And so to survive it, that's what they adopted. They would just go to work, even if they reach to work early, because in Trinidad, if you're working in town, to reach in town, you really have to reach for 7 if you're trying to get to work for 8. And I have known for that whole hour, go in 8 o'clock and leave at the prescribed time. So my first question to you as a leader, even if you have your own business, is how do your employees feel about actually coming to work? If that answer is they don't like it, then you are not creating a mentally healthy space for them. So that is the first thing. The second thing about creating a psychologically safe space is how comfortable are they in talking to you? So when something arises, what happens? Do you find that you hear about concerns late? Are you getting information further down the pipeline than higher up when there is a chance that you could actually deal with it? Do you find a lot of water cooler talk? And that is how you get your information. And these things may anger you as a leader. You may feel, why don't they just come to me? But they are not coming to you because you are not providing that psychologically safe space for them to feel comfortable and coming to you. Because if they were comfortable talking to you, they would come and tell you. They may tell you first. They may tell you, this is happening and I'm concerned about this. Or they would even feel comfortable in telling you when they make mistakes instead of trying to fix it themselves and then having something else happen and then coming to you when it may be a little bit harder to rectify whatever the issue is. So think about if your employees feel comfortable coming to you. And the thing with this too is if you think of yourself when you are afraid to do something or you are anxious to do something, how long does it take you before you act on it? So if you are something new, if you are fearful of that activity, chances are you may put it off a little while before you psych yourself up to do it. And it is the same thing an employee who really is a human goes through when they are trying to figure out, should I tell my manager this? Should I tell my leader this? How are they going to react? I don't know what they are going to say. Do I need to have all the answers ready for them before I have that conversation? If an employee is feeling all these things, it is keeping them back from getting you the information or communicating to you at a time when it would be better for you to have the information. So, as a leader, it is important to ask yourself, how comfortable are your employees talking to you? Can they come to you even if they don't have a solution? And the thing with that is, and I know in my own experience, you are told, manager, make sure you have a solution. But if there is mutual trust, then you don't need a solution. You may just need to voice the problem and let them know what you're thinking about. But you don't absolutely need to have a solution if you're working in a psychologically safe space. Because sometimes just having the information up front as a leader, we know, helps us more than having it further down the line. And all of this also is based on the fact that you, as a leader, understand your worth. You are not operating based on principles of fear, principles of anxiety. You understand how to do your job. You understand how to fix mistakes. You understand how to interact with persons so that when they come to you, you are not accessing fear and anger and overwhelm from years ago and bringing it to this conversation with this person who is unaware and unassuming, and then transferring that energy to them. You understand that this is a situation that is separate to anything in your past history that would have angered you, made you sad, made you anxious, and you are able to deal with it from a place of mental and emotional freedom. So that's the second thing. How comfortable are they in speaking to you? And the third thing, in terms of creating a psychologically safe environment, is do your employees feel that you have their back? If your employees feel that you have their back, then there is no question that they are going to perform the best that they can, because they know that if something was to go wrong, They can talk to you about it. You would not shame them, blame them, make them wrong. And you are able to then guide them and coach them on the way forward. And this I find is very, very important, especially in places where there may be some hesitance in order to take certain action. So, for example, the employee may be in meetings or leading meetings, or they may just be in situations where they have to make a lot of decisions. If you are creating a space where whatever decision they make, you are finding something wrong with it, you are shaming them, you are blaming them, they are not going to be confident in making those decisions. And that, again, is going to keep back the efficiency of the organization, how effective things are going, and it is really going to stunt the growth and flow within the organization. But if an employee believes you have their back, you are giving them the power and the freedom to do the best job that they can without fear, without anxiety. And that is going to help you as a leader than other things that you think may help, like performance metrics, but are not helping. And this one, I remember one of my managers actually said this to me. She said, Shri, whatever you do, know I always have your back. Even if I have to coach you, I am not going to blow you up in front of other persons on a call. And that made such a difference to me, because I knew, even if she was on the call with me, that I had the power to speak freely and I wasn't afraid that I would say something wrong. And this, again, when I coach persons, a lot of the fears that I see, one of the fears that I see is actually talking to people on the phone, being afraid you say the wrong thing, being afraid that people are offended, and speaking up in meetings for the same reason. You don't want to say something wrong. You don't want to be embarrassed in front of your managers. You don't want anybody to shame you. All of these things, we don't really understand how deep rooted all of these things are in the space of work. So, in this month of mental health, what I want to encourage you to do is to not only think of mental health as providing flexibility in the workplace, but really think about the environment that you have for your employees as a leader. Are you creating that psychologically safe space? Are your employees excited to come to work? Are your employees comfortable in talking to you? Do your employees know that you have their back? If the answers to those things are no, then even if you have flexibility, you do not have a mentally healthy workspace. And of course, if you need help in understanding how to create that psychologically safe space, please feel free. I also invite you to join my private Facebook group, where I provide a lot of support in respect of mental and emotional health. The name of the group is Leading Your Life with Emotional Intelligence. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Feel free to let me know. I'm seeing one in the chat asking if I'm a psychologist. No, I'm not a psychologist. I'm an emotional intelligence coach. Oh, and somebody gave me a clap. Thank you for that. So, thank you so much to everyone for watching. I hope you have a great evening. If you watch on the replay, please feel free to let me know. And of course, if you have any questions, also please feel free to let me know. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.